Should you be using a body or an arms-based golf swing? Is there a body versus arms golf swing? What's correct? How do you time them? We're going to cover the options, whether you are more of a body swinger and whether you're more of an arm swinger, how really we want to hybrid the two. And that's how you're going to get the best results. And I'm going to give you a drill if you're either one of those that are going to help you tremendously. Let's find out. All right, first, I think the way I'm going to do this is explain a bit about what the body swing is. Let's start with that, and we're going to help those of you that might recognize yourselves in this swing. The body swing really is where we don't have much, I'm exaggerating it, okay? A body swing is probably a good sort of elite example is Bryson DeChambeau, okay? He's very sort of stacked over the side here, makes a huge big rotation with his core, turns around and very passive, firm with the hands, but it's very much a body swing that's turning hard here. Now, there is an element where we want the body to be moving, of course, because that's going to generate a lot of speed and power. But if we are too rigid and static with the arms, and if we end up just sort of trying to shove the shots, we're not going to get speed because we're not using the weight of the club. We're not using this natural extra oomph of effortless collection and speed. And it might look something like this, where let's say I've got my setup here and I'm thinking, right, I've got to turn my body, I've got to turn my hips, and I've got to heave and shove this golf ball, right? If I try and do it, you know, I'm only doing a half swing, but if I try and just use my body and keep my arms dead still and, you know, firm, and I try and swing hard that way with only a half swing, not only is that bloody hard work, the speed is actually not that good. And this isn't just about speed, it's just about consistency as well, right? But if I do the same thing, okay, if I do exactly the same thing and soften up my wrists, soften up my forearms here, and allow these arms just to hang, and I do exactly the same movement with my body, right? I mean, that was a little bit quick because I'm trying to exaggerate, but I have not only a longer swing, I have momentum, right? And I have a natural whip through the ball, and I have done nothing different. So what do you do if you're finding that you're a bit of a heaver of the golf ball, all right? There's two feels that I want you to have. One is probably the main sort of drill I want you to try is the feet and knees together here, okay? What this is going to do is help you time up your body sort of movement and turn, but we want to allow much easier sort of movement with the arms and wrists here to hinge through, okay? We want suppleness here. So we can still feel like we're moving the body, we still feel like we're rotating, and we're using the bigger muscles, but we're very conscious of these arms being able to glide through, okay? And if you see from this angle behind, after hitting a few shots like this, you know, or a few practice swings, keeping those feet and knees together and balanced, okay, we turn the hips, we turn the core, but I'm allowing momentum and the weight of the club to move with a natural sort of pattern and pace. And it's giving me a wonderful timing to step wider and swing through, okay? The next element is to start feeling like the left arm, okay, the left arm is just gliding a lot more. And even just doing some left arm only swings are going to give you a very good sensation of still being able to wind up, okay? We want to wind up, we want width, but we want this arm to feel a lot more freedom, all right? If from here, it's going to feel like it's just falling backwards. There's no resistance. All I'm doing is sort of clearing out the way, and this arm is free flowing, elevation, moving backwards and forwards. And I do that several times to start harnessing more of my arm unit to capitalize on my body rotation. And yes, from there we want to be able to rotate through, but I still want those soft, supple arms, okay? So try those things. If you find that you're a golfer who sort of shoves a little bit too much like this, okay, soften everything up, try the feet and knees together drill, and very importantly, start feeling like those left arm can just glide with a lot more freedom and less resistance, okay? Just start matching those two together. So now we've covered the body swingers just a little bit. What if you are finding or think you're an arm swinger? Let's find out what that is and how to start combining the larger muscles to get more power and consistency. First of all, a summary of an arm swinger is basically someone that stalls the body, especially on the downswing, okay? Where I don't really care about a big sort of shoulder turn. You know, we don't necessarily, you know, everyone says you gotta get that, but if you're more experienced in life or don't play often, it's a difficult move to create a big rotation and width, you know. That takes flexibility, that takes practice to get that width. So I don't necessarily care if you're just sort of using the arms and you've got a minimal sort of shoulder turn here. There's ways that we can maximize a short swing, and we're covering that in a new series that will be out very soon. But what we can do is get a feel and a movement that gives a bit of a light bulb sensation to say, okay, I don't have to force my body, but I can utilize it. All right, so an arm swing is going to be something like this, where we're very flat-footed through the ball. We're very flat-footed, the arms take over, and we just sort of flip through in that manner. It's a weak shot, and we end up trying to lift the ball in the air. And what can sort of happen is, if you're struggling to sort of rotate through, you might just end up kind of shoving the upper body and losing balance a little bit. You might recognize yourself as that. And let's say you've got, you know, you've been listening and you've got the soft wrists, you've got the supple arms, and you've got a little bit of flow, but nothing else is working. Now, in a way, I would probably prefer most people just to use their arms because you're going to get a more effortless strike and a bit more consistency. But let's just ramp it up a little bit, all right? And the way we're going to do it is, we want to feel like we're getting just a little bit more momentum with the legs, with the hips, and with the sort of core and the rib cage. Not only back, but on the way through, all right? So the drill I would like you to do is quite simple. You're just going to place the left arm, okay, under your tricep here. We're just going to place that under here, and we're going to create a setup underneath. And what that's going to do, it almost, I don't like the word lock, but it's going to lock us into place. It's quite difficult and it feels awkward to just use the arms in this manner. We're going to try and guide the swing a bit more with the lead side here, okay? And what we're going to do is actually just turn and wind up a little bit more with the sternum and our elbow here staying connected, all right? But what that's going to do is enable us to stay in front of the body a little bit with the arms, but we have very soft, free-flowing arms at the same time. But notice, if I slow my body down, my hands sort of crisscross over. I'm kind of stuffed. Crap shots are going to happen there. So, to not let that happen, I want to actually feel that everything is turning through. Again, with this lead side, with the sternum, I'm turning through that way. Now, it's not just about doing the right arm swings, which I do love, which create a bit of freedom. We're trying to get a bit more chest movement into this. We're trying to get a bit more accentuation of using the core and the hips and rotating through, so the club can just sling through a little bit more. So if you see from here, if you see from there, we're going to put the arm underneath, and we're just going to do some half swings, still feeling momentum, okay, still feeling momentum, but feeling almost locked in with the chest and the upper body. So it's just like so. It's a wonderful movement, but it's going to combine the body. It's going to combine the sequence that we want. And most importantly, it's going to stop the hands just sort of passing through, because we want the belt buckle and the chest to finish a little bit higher with this connection, okay? So, is a body swing better than an arm swing? No. We want to try and blend the two together, all right? So, if you have any questions, let me know. If one of those resonate with you more than the other, try the drill, okay? If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.